And we're live.
We're
That
live.
was very close. Sorry to anyone who was using headphones just now.
Welcome.
Here we are.
Here we are. After we didn't do one last month, did we? No, I don't know. Time's fun.
You have been a little bit busy, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit harder to get things together.
Coordinating has been a little bit more
I feel like we're going on, like next month we won't do one, obviously, because of December.
Let me just mute all the things.
And so we'll next one will be in January. So anyways, we're here now. Let's talk about now. Talk about the now, not the later. That camera is so wonky. I'm gonna let you do it.
It's a little crooked.
Let me fix that. You take the reins for a second.
Did you notice my outfit tonight?
It is.
I brought the Twister with me tonight. For those of you who have never seen Twister, this is the jacket that get a real close up. Right up in this region here. This is the jacket that Dusty wears in the movie. He also wears an OU hat, but I have after 15 years of searching, have still not been able to find his hat. So it might have been a custom job for the movie. But
I bet you could find
something. I had to have this zipper put in because these jackets were not sold with a zipper. Specifically for the movie, they tailored the jacket with a zipper, and so I had to have this done. This was it was a quarter zip initially. Look at that! I carried us through like the whole 2 minutes you were adjusting the camera. Perfect.
Well, welcome to
you should explain
Homebrew Guys, where we talk about our clothing and our most recent obsessions
and give you tips on your fit.
No, welcome to Homebrew Guys. This is the podcast all about homebrewing and the content from around the internet, from around the world. We kind of aggregate it over the course of a month or two and bring it to you in a package deal, and we just talk about things. We are two YouTubers who do lots of mead, beer, wine, cider making on our specific channels, and we just come together and kind of talk about all the stuff that's happening. So welcome to our show. We're on episode 19?
20.
Episode 20. So almost 2 years.
I mean, I think it's been over 2 years.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, we've had some breaks.
Very important question from chat. Kyle wants to know, is Garrett short for cigarette?
Yes. I can't believe it took you guys this long to figure it out, but that's his 100%.
Full legal name.
We got some of Kyle's meads in front of us.
I think this is a different Kyle, but yes.
Different Kyle. We have some of Kyle Ducharme's meads. If he's
to be
in
fair,
the chat.
there are a lot of Kyles.
A lot of Kyles in the world. So we're here to detail the most recent things. Do we have anyone in chat we need to talk about?
Let's say hi to Adept Nonsense, Brian, Nathan, Ryu, Tiger, Pat, Kyle, Fun Pants, Stinger. I think I didn't miss anybody so far who has commented. There are a lot more people watching. And if you're watching and you want me to say your username, drop a comment. Or get crazy. Drop a super chat.
Get crazy. We'll talk about that here in a second.
We'll talk about super chats here in a second. Yeah. We don't even have the alert box on here. Hold on. I'm going to switch to...
Lucy's going to start playing around real fast.
We need alert box set up on the main scene.
I
don't know why we've deleted it. There you go. Now, if you make a super chat, it should show up at the top of your screen.
Are we muted? Are we good?
I think we're good. Fun Pants wants me to say his name again.
Is this happening? Oh, you're not here. Okay, sorry.
That's fine. I muted us. I got it, fam.
All right, so
we're here to talk about brewing.
Yeah.
We should maybe start by talking about the holidays, sir.
It is the holidays, now that you mention it.
I know, I'm still in a Thanksgiving food coma, as it were. Yes. So for Mead Stampede last year, if you're not familiar, Mead Stampede is the most fun mead competition in the planet of Earth.
True dat.
And we last year launched the Holiday Hoedown, which is a private event, a virtual holiday party with a little bit of real-world flair. So it is $75 to sponsor Mead Stampede and get in to the Holiday Hoedown, or $40 if you just want to get into the Holiday Hoedown. Every person, well, I should say, the first 24 people who sign up for the Holiday Hoedown will receive a gift from us.
Oh, BC, you want to see the labels?
I do want to see the labels.
I want to have your live reaction to these labels.
And so we'll be sending out gifts to everyone. Garrett has been working on the gift for this year's Holiday Hoedown package. Oh my. Oh my. You really went all out with this one. It says BC's Bunker Booze. And it's got a picture of me.
Listen, I've got lots of screenshots of you from Palate Expanders. It's pretty easy to find.
I like that you've also photoshopped the background so like I'm underground but also in a locker room.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
You're in a bunker.
Is that a Nintendo GameCube back there?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Playing some Double Dash? That's great. So everyone who attends the hoedown, while supplies last, will get a gift from us. And you can also buy some raffle tickets. We're going to be doing a ton of raffle drawings, and they're all going to be either good stuff or absolutely weird stuff. And that's just the luck of the draw.
Yep.
Raffle tickets are relatively cheap. You can go to meadstampede.org/hoedown for details on all that. We have 6 sponsor spots remaining. After that, we'll have to cut off sponsor registrations, but you can still get in for the general admission. And so shout out to everybody who's already sponsored. You'll, in just a few days, you'll be getting a Google form email from us so you can fill out your information so we can ship you your gift. And then everything should ship out by like the 10th, 11th of December. So you'll have it in time for the hoedown.
Yeah.
Very exciting stuff. It's a fun time.
We had a great time last year. I think he already said that, but super fun event and a way for us to just take our community and keep growing together. So I hope you'll join us. And then if you can't join us for that, of course, Mead Stampede itself is happening again next year. Start brewing your entries if you haven't started already. It'll be in July. So just be prepped for that. We do have a specific competition element as the same as last year. And our common, I just remembered our combination.
Do you need help?
I need help.
I got you.
I remember the so we have the thing called the cattle battle. And we live rolled it last time. Yes. Okay. I had cumin. I had mango in my head, but I was wrong. So the cattle battle is a specific part of our mead competition where we brew something. In this case, Mandy's going to brew it. And you have to attempt to match the flavor profile of that mead the best you can. But we don't tell you what's happening with it, the ingredients, other than a bare bones, here's what's going into it. This year's cattle battle is orange and cumin, as we rolled last time on this. And your challenge is to make an orange and cumin mead. Send it to Mead Stampede underneath the cattle battle specific challenge there. And then we'll judge them. And the person who gets the closest will win that award there. And it's pretty cool. We've got lots of awards aside from that, of course, for Mead Stampede. So if you don't want to do that, we still have a bunch for just regular entries. We have our beginning first-time mead comp enterer.
Rookie of the year.
And, of course, the YouTuber are our favorite picks via me, Mandy, and BC here. We choose a mead from the whole competition that we like. Individually, and then we award a really cool belt buckle that's super unique. You'll never get it anywhere else. So
I gotta order those.
Yeah,
the production time takes forever
because they're pretty dang unique.
Like 4 months.
So Mead Stampede is coming around. It will be here sooner than you think. So get to brewing and let us know if you need more information. Don't tell us too much about your brews because we can't necessarily help you. We don't want to have that much information. We love you, but we don't want to know every bit of information about your brew because that can taint the experience as we are going through and judging. So just keep that in mind.
Do you want to tell them what happened with this nondescript clear liquid?
So BC's Bunker Booze started off as a... like freezer dump is what he started with. And so he brought that over to me and said, hey, do something with this. And then I said, you know what we need to do? We need to get some nondescript clear liquid to put into this. And so we sourced
some honey derived nondescript clear liquid. Yeah.
So we found some just lying around
behind a dumpster.
Yep. And we included it, which is why again it's called BC's Bunker Booze. And then we threw in some oak to add a little flair and some taste. And this thing is...
how is it? I haven't tried it.
I feel like I just want to let that let that live, that linger. I want people to taste it. I don't want to give any preconceived ideas.
Last year it was basically a cinnamon mead.
Fantastic, though. It was fantastic. I still have that bottle somewhere.
It was a cute little bottle.
So anyways, that's what's happening. We got a lot going on as far as that. But what about you? What's your brewing world looking like right now, BC?
Well, that's a loaded question because I brew for a living now. And so I've got a lot of various projects laying around my studio. Mm-hmm. I was telling you earlier, I've got 3 batches. I'm bottling 11 gallons tomorrow of just stuff that I've made.
That's
personally.
the worst day ever, too, though. That's such a long day. Bottling days suck.
But Anna's cousin is going to come over and help me because she wants to take some back to Portland with her. So I will have help at least sanitizing and filling bottles. I'm going to be on corking duty tomorrow. But I got some honey from Honey Blossom Honey Company today on their Black Friday deal, so I can start some more projects. We've got Hoppy Camper coming up here in Oklahoma in just 5 months. Ooh. And so we got to get brewing for that. Yeah, it's more like 4 months because it's like early April. So we got to get some hydromels going for that, and I needed honey because I'm out. So yeah, I've been brewing a lot lately. Earlier he got to try some of my durian mead. He loved it.
Yep.
He said that's probably exclusively the fruit he's going to use going forward.
Yep. I got a no water planned. No water durian, just down the pipeline.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, no, it's I basically brew every single day of the week these days. And
you still enjoy it?
It's fun. I think what I'm enjoying right now is the art of it, because I know fermentation, I know the science, I know all the information that I could possibly need to know as a home brewer. And so it's fun to view home brewing from a different perspective. Like, okay, how can I get a cool shot of this?
Yeah.
How can I get a cool shot of that? And I don't know if I showed you my half bucket.
You sent some stuff to Mandy and I.
Yeah. I've got a half bucket that I use for specific shots. And so you don't think about that when you're just watching internet videos of people cooking or fermenting or whatever, that what you're seeing might not actually be what you're seeing. And so I've been having a lot of fun with trying to ferment, but also trying to make things look cool. So it's been a creative exercise.
Yeah, that's fun.
What have you been up to?
Not as much brewing as I would maybe like to, although I've kicked up some projects here and there. I've really wanted to lager a mead for a long time, but this time I didn't really, not lagering it. I'm using the Kveik Lutra and doing a pressure fermentation, I guess lagering, pseudo lager.
Yeah, pseudo lager.
Something kind of fun. I'm doing a braggot, like a true blended braggot, instead of doing make a beer base, add honey, try to do that. I feel like it'd be interesting. And then just a slew of other projects. I'm trying to shut down all of my fruit mead ones for Mead Stampede, which will be the educational component this next year. And then I've actually just spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to balance brews. I have a bunch of brews that, one of them was super over oaked. And I was like, well, I got to do something about it. So I'm brewing with the intent of blending and trying to figure out how to fix problems I've created.
Right on.
And I feel like that's a different kind of science too.
Yeah.
Where I'm trying to figure that out. So we even talked about it earlier. I've got one that I got to do a little planning on to figure out how to fix it. But stuff like that's been fun. And then just posting videos. This last week, the 40 hopped meads went out. Video went out. So that was kind of fun.
Huge project.
Thanks to everybody who helped with that and who watched that. I think I put a pinned comment on there because I'm sure people are interested in how much that is made. It's made $40 at this point.
Okay, that's great.
It's very good for a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple people donate some money on there, so very generous people sent some money over there. But it's just very interesting. That's one of those where I had a lot of fun with it. But if you went by the books of should I do this project, probably not. So anyways.
Yeah, but the community gained a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely
from that.
My other last project that's wrapping up is the Ultimate Mead Maker 2024. That is wrapping up the middle of December, and the video will go out probably towards the end of December to crown the champion. And if you didn't watch last year's video, it was a competition where I did it kind of all online. I got 16 mead makers together and then put them through a, I guess, survivor-style gauntlet to do various challenges, and they got eliminated after each challenge if they didn't pass through. And we crowned a winner last year, and we're going to crown a winner in about 3 weeks from now. So it'll be very fun if you want to watch that. That video will be all in one. It'll be an hour long this time, and that'll be the most expensive video that I've done to date. I was doing some numbers and math on that, and that's a $900 video for this year.
Yikes, dude.
And I don't anticipate making more than 50. So that's one of those big projects. You should watch it. Please watch it.
You can go join his Patreon or YouTube memberships and help fund these crazy projects.
Please watch that video when it comes out.
And if you don't watch it, just put it on the background.
Yeah, just fall asleep to it or something. But anyways, that's what's going on with me.
Right on. Well, we have a lot to cover tonight.
Yes, we've been out for a while.
We have a lot to cover. I actually had to kind of do some editorial on this to kind of dial in on the must-see coverage.
There's so much going on.
There's so much going on. I had so many links. Anna sends me stuff. People in the Discord send us stuff. I'm always bookmarking stuff, and so I hope I love the thumbnail.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I hope that I got exactly what we need. We also have some interesting items here. Mm-hmm. And my thought was, if we get one more Holiday Hoedown purchase,
I like this.
Or if we get $75 worth of super chats, you and I will take a spoonful of each of these.
Oh, yeah.
So these are...
This is a powder that I bought.
Alleged to be from fruit.
Yes. And so I got a gift card to More Beer, and I was like, well, I got to spend this money. And I was going to buy something different with it. I wasn't going to buy just a normal stuff. And so I found these powders that are supposed to be from the fruit. It's supposed to be watermelon powder. I don't know how. Or mango powder. And I've been brewing with them just to kind of see how they work. BC was like, maybe we should did you taste it? And I said, no, I didn't taste it straight up, but I'll be curious to try it.
I didn't smell the mango one, but the watermelon one smells really gross.
Those are almost done. They're sitting back there, and they're probably a week from being done. So
they claim to be from fruit, but the mango one kind of looks like Fermento.
Yeah.
And the watermelon one is just like a white, gritty powder.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have any watermelon color.
Which I guess is okay. I don't really know.
So, anyway, I'll keep an eye on Super Chats and other things, and we'll see if anybody wants us to taste these.
Yep.
Good times. Do you want to jump into the news, my friend?
Yep. This is root beer mead made by Kyle Ducharme.
Root beer mead.
So, Kyle, if you're around or listening, we are trying your mead. Let's chop.
Ooh, that smells great.
It is very good. I've already killed mine. Let's jump into the brews.
Yeah, let's say hi to Russell and Wolf Dragon Tamer, both in the chat.
Dragon Tamer
in the brews.
So we've got stories from around the brewing world. We normally find a lot of these online as the internet pops up with great things. And I'm going to let BC take this first one. I don't think he probably has the picture associated with this, but it's very good. It's a woman with a absolutely ginormous glass of wine.
Yeah, I think we got
there it is.
32,259 bottles of wine on the wall.
32,259 bottles of wine.
So I'm not going to go through this whole article, but did you know that the UK government has 32,259 bottles of wine
on the wall
in a cellar somewhere?
Wow.
This is a huge. I mean, you can just scroll it. This is a huge deep dive into the wine cellar of the UK government, and I guess the data has been made public.
Interesting.
And so these people went through the data to see what's there. Apparently, there is one little tiny bottle of Smirnoff in there for some reason too.
We gotta have it. We gotta have that Smirnoff
that
in there.
That was hilarious. It's one of those things where we know governments hoard things, right?
Right.
Like our U.S. government has millions of pounds of cheese stored in caves under the ground, and it's just there.
You don't have?
I have 1 million pounds of cheese, but
the normal amount.
Governments hoard things because they don't know what what is going to be of value, and so they hold on to things of value in case any of that is ever going to be necessary. And here they I guess release data about it, and so you can see what's in their collection.
It's very interesting.
And I think the whole deep dive is really interesting. All of the links from tonight will end up in the video description on here, but you can Google this. It's pretty chill, pretty interesting.
Oh, next story. You ready for this, BC? We've talked. We've got a fascination with bananas. I think we've both done many a brew with bananas, and talked about things. So, did you know your brain responds to the smell of bananas? There's a response that happens.
You know, I didn't know that, but now that I know it, it makes sense.
It also responds to the sight or mention of the fruit. So what happened whenever I said bananas? What did you do?
Oh, man. I went BANANAS. Sir.
You had to. So there's some big words here.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to say them very well.
Well, you can try.
Well, you want me to try?
I mean, you can just read it. There's a screenshot on the screen right now, so nobody will know.
Well, there's other big words. Are they on the screen? Because that's embarrassing if I butcher them. Okay. Well, so scientists have been finding information out about this. That of course there's a response to bananas and the mention, the smell, the association, I guess, with them, and it has some neuronal activity from epilepsy patients with implanted electrodes. So essentially, they were studying people who had implants, which is already kind of creepy. It's very Elon Musk style. I don't know.
Yeah, they had brain implants?
Well,
that's terrifying.
They had implanted electrodes for this test.
Okay.
And then they just stand over them and say bananas. Like what?
Bananas.
So
it's like a magnifying glass.
This test, what is that thumbnail too?
I think that might be AI.
That has to be.
It doesn't look real.
It has more fingers than he's supposed to.
You know, all of this makes sense. And I know that's like, we were apes, right? And so it's like our monkey brain is like, ooh, bananas.
Yeah.
You know, we want sweet fruit, easy to consume calories. But I do, like, when I smell, like, even in that durian mead, when I smell banana, I'm like, ooh.
I feel like it's so, like, your brain does this with a lot of things, though. I guess if it's associated with a memory. So you're saying that there's like a deeper seated memory in there, like this.
I think it might be like epigenetic.
Oh.
I think it might be like cooked into our DNA.
That makes sense.
That like sweet fruit makes us go. I mean, like a dog. Like
Yeah.
when a dog smells meat, a dog gets like super excited, right? And it's obviously it's like, oh, I'm hungry. I want to eat meat. But like you could feed a dog 2 dinners.
Yeah.
And then like dangle a steak over it, and the dog is still going to go for the steak, right?
That's true.
Because it's baked into their code.
Well, I guess this test has opened the doors for studying this further. What I find so interesting about it is that it says the study involved recording neuronal activity from epilepsy patients, which that's an interesting demographic to.
Yeah. I mean, but it
why.
makes sense if they've got electrodes already in their head.
Yeah.
Right. That's work you don't have to do.
That's true. Fascinating research that I'm sure will amount to us having more
banana mead.
More. that's the takeaway from tonight.
People like banana flavored things.
Banana mead is hard to do well, though. Of all the things you've done, I would say banana, not you specifically, but I've done. Banana mead is like one of those that's like...
Your banana cream pie mead was very good.
Was very good, yes. But I don't know that I'm like... I'm not screaming to do it again.
I mean, part of the struggle for me is bananas are a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
You got to peel them, you got to chop them, you got to work around their like starchy pulpiness. Like it's a lot to work through. Okay, so Stinger bought our $75 level sponsorship.
What?
So
let's go.
Hold on. After the news segment, we'll taste some of these powdered fruits. Y'all can still drop a super chat though. Okay. Bananas.
Let's talk about this next one, BC. I'll let you take the reins on
Oh boy.
the future of America.
I got to be careful here. A lot of people say you're not supposed to mix politics and hobbies. However, a lot of times
But alcohol.
politics affects your hobbies. So we had an election here in America.
We did?
And believe it or not, there are about 10 million people that didn't seem to notice compared to 2020. But yes, we did actually have an election here in America. And the president-elect has been talking about imposing some tariffs on countries that he believes that we have lopsided trade arrangements with.
Okay.
And so this article is about specifically the wine industry and how they're reacting to those potential tariffs. Because, wine grapes in America generally come from America, right? And so those aren't imported goods. Those aren't being, taxed and tariffed in that way. But corks, bottles, shipping boxes, oftentimes labels, a lot of those things come from these countries, Canada and China specifically. Mexico for glass, where tariffs are being threatened. And so this article, I'm not going to go too much into the politics of whether things are right or wrong, but this article is about how the wine industry is responding. And apparently they're responding by looking at avenues for automation.
Oh, interesting.
Which will cut jobs, but reduce costs by using robots for harvesting, destemming, and using more like AI technologies and things to automate the process of winemaking, as well as if some of the immigration stuff goes into effect, looking at how they're going to be staffing in the industry and looking about where they're going to be sourcing some of these potentially out of country imported goods from. And so it's interesting. And I would say for anybody of any political stripe, it's worth a read to go and look at how some of these financial policies are going to be impacting, at least in the short term, some of these industries that we love, like the wine industry.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see changes coming up. I think I don't know. It's so hard to know what's really going to happen.
Yeah,
there's a lot of talk, and then it's
right.
like then going into reality. It's like,
and that this America, I feel like, has a very short memory.
Yeah,
and obviously, and the last time we had this president in office, there were a lot of tariff threats that never turned into anything. And so I think a lot of it is bluster, a lot of it is positioning, a lot of it is some kind of heavy-handed negotiation tactics. And so it'll be interesting to see if a lot of the things being claimed are actually going to become part of our lives.
Yeah.
But specifically, this article is about how the industry is responding to those proposals. So it's worth a read.
I poured you a different mead from Kyle. This is a very, very interesting peach mead.
Okay, I hope it's not relevant to our next story.
Doesn't smell like poop, so. Speaking of our next story, and poo. So I'm sure people have stumbled across this because the internet's a big place and things get reposted everywhere. There was for lack of a better term, very large.
I probably should have given a warning before switching to the slide.
Very large turd. Found from a Viking who had invaded England 1,200 years ago. This thing was like somehow preserved in the world.
It looks fresh.
It looks
like they harvested it yesterday.
So this thing says it measures approximately 20 centimeters and 5 centimeters in width. It's considered one of the largest known human crapolites.
Okay, I'm going to take it off the screen.
Take it off screen.
Do you say crapolites?
Crapolites.
Is that a real word?
Coprolites. Sorry. Coprolites.
I said crapolite.
Crapolites. Look at those crapolites.
Holy crapolite.
There, some scientists had some good time studying that thing. They found that. Can you imagine that guy who found it? He was stoked. Some dude
he's
didn't
like, oh man, I found a poop.
Some dude didn't sleep that night because he found that. He was so excited.
Yeah, he put it under his pillow for the poop fairy to come. So I'm gonna make a fortune off of this.
Okay, I gotta figure.
Why do you have that?
Because I have to measure boxes to ship them out.
Okay.
I don't have centimeters on here. Well, that's a bummer. Well, how long is 20 centimeters? Do you know?
No, I'm American.
20 centimeters.
I work in freedom units.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. Calculate.
It's over on the side.
7?
Almost 8 inches. That's a big poop, dude.
I don't know. I was expecting something more.
Yeah, but that's like half a baby's arm.
In 5? I mean, that's
something.
Again, somebody had a good time writing that story.
Yeah. I wonder. So, did they sell it? Did they keep it?
Sell it.
Do they have?
They
like, a little
flushed it down a
stand
toilet.
For it? Yeah, they just flushed it. I'll take care of that for you. Did they learn anything from it? Was there like anything about his diet? He had
said that
parasites, right?
He was rich in meat and bread, and was afflicted with numerous parasitic eggs. Indicating he had an intestinal worm infestation. It's very.
Isn't it great to live
yummy.
in 2024 where we don't have worms?
Yeah, that's true. We could have worms.
We could have worms. Instead, we drink meat and we stream our nonsense on the internet.
But there's somebody longing for the days that this guy was living in right now. He's there. They wish they're back there.
Oh, yikes. Good times. So I included that one because, everybody likes to talk about Vikings. And so I felt like it's relevant here to poo like a Viking. So.
Shall we talk about another odd topic that's somewhat depressing?
This one's a real downer.
Yeah, not fun to read about. This is all about alcohol and some new cancer research that has found that alcohol and cancer often link together. This says...
we kind of knew that.
The American Association of Cancer Research highlights that approximately 40% of all cancer cases are linked to modifiable risk factors, with alcohol consumption being a significant contributor.
Yeah, and it's going up and up and up.
It says alcohol intake is associated with increased risk for 6 types of cancer: head and neck, esophageal, liver, breast, colorectal, and stomach cancers. And notably, in 2019, over 5% of cancer diagnoses in Western countries were attributed to alcohol use.
That's pretty high.
That's a lot. That's pretty. That's a bummer.
It's pretty high. It's pretty high. And the cancers they're listing there are like bad ones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, a little bit of skin cancer, a little bit of lymphoma. Like, generally, like, you're going to make it through, right? But colorectal cancer, esophageal cancer, those are like deeply life-altering events.
So on that note, I'm no longer
Dry January is
Yeah.
coming up. Yeah. I mean, it's like anything. I think you have to balance the risks. There are also people who drink a bottle of whiskey a day and live till they're 100.
Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of it's genetic, a lot of it's other compounding factors and risk factors, other comorbidities. So it's something to think about, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Of like
moderation is important with everything in life.
How is your consumption impacting your ability to survive and thrive? Okay, what am I drinking here?
This is Kyle's peach mead. It's very good. It reminds me of has that peach skin sort of flavor there. It is super rich and nice.
That's one of the best peach meads I've had in a long time.
It's like biting into a peach.
Yeah, it is. A big, juicy yellow peach.
It's very good.
It's got that peach pit thing, too, that like tannic bite. That's very good. Holy smokes.
Quality mead maker. That guy right there.
Love it.
All right, next up. So I'm going to take part of this and I'm going to toss it to you.
No, okay. This one's touchy.
It's touchy, but also I have a little bit of a... I feel like I saw some of the changes occur with the American Homebrewer Association when they did their National Homebrew Competition. I saw kind of the after effects. So
yeah, tell me about it.
The Brewers Association, which is the parent organization of the American Homebrew Association, they announced that they're reducing some staff. They had six staff members, which is 11% of their workforce that is being let go, essentially. And all
it's a
this
considerable number of people.
Oh, yeah.
6 people's a lot.
So the president said some nice things about whatever, blah, blah, blah. They're firing some people. I have noticed, we've all kind of noticed some weird stuff happening with the American Homebrew Association. I feel like they've been less involved.
I mean, hot take, most of these national homebrewing orgs have had a lot of trouble the last few years.
Yeah. Well, so one thing that was odd to me, and I think the idea is great there. I think making sure that they use their funds well, that's the challenge, because I was running some numbers in my head for entries to the National Homebrew Convention, which I think this year had 3,500 entries or something like that.
$30 a pop?
$30 a piece. So in entries alone, you're looking at $1.1 million, something like that you're collecting.
And maybe that's the story we should have featured, the photos of that event.
So yeah, there was some I'm involved with a very heavily competitive homebrewing group, and they had a couple guys who went out to the event. And as people who run our own mead competition and strive to put on the best possible award ceremony and event, ours was like 10,000 times better than this national level one. They had kind of put themselves in a corner of this brewery back in the back, and there was a stage, like one sign, no seats, like a couple tables for people to stand around, and then I think there was you had to pay to like get in or something like that too. It was like, but it just looked like they weren't trying very hard to make this national level thing feel like it was a national level thing. And to me, I wonder, if I spent $120 in entry fees to send 4 things off.
Yeah.
I know their money's going somewhere. I hope that it's going to...
It's not going to those 6 people.
Yeah, not anymore. I hope that they can figure out what they're doing, and I hope that company doesn't go down, because I think there's a valuable resource in the American Homebrew Association.
Jage says, "You had a doorman. They didn't even have a door."
It's true.
He worked the door for a while, so I have props. I don't have a lot to say about this. It feels like national homebrewing orgs have struggled in a post-COVID world to find their purpose.
Yeah.
And homebrewing is on the decline. You're hearing that from everybody in the industry, and it seems like maybe there needs to be a bit of strategic planning toward how they are going to adapt to this generation of homebrewing and what homebrewers in this generation want out of their hobbyist organizations.
Yeah.
And I don't have the answer to that because I'm not a member of any of these organizations. I've never believed in them. And I'm feeling a little bit of, not I told you so, but I'm feeling pretty, I'm feeling pretty high on the fact that I never gave them any of my money.
Yeah.
After seeing what's happened with the AMMA and now the homebrewers.
I think it can be a very valuable source, and I think those people.
It should be.
It should be.
It should be.
They just have to. You have to have somebody who has a passion for the hobby. You can't let somebody who doesn't really care about the hobby be the person that is leading the charge on this stuff, because then there's just scraping in money.
Well, and there's. I don't want folks to think that we're like harshing on the fact that these organizations rake in a ton of money. Because if that money is spent well toward growing the hobby, it's totally worth investing in these organizations. But what I have witnessed from the outside looking in is that it doesn't feel like the membership dues are growing the hobby.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really feel like there are any answers as to what the membership dues are going toward.
Yeah. I don't really know, to be honest. It's hard to say. I do know that I think the AHA puts out is it Zymergy is their big magazine that comes out every 2 months. And actually what's interesting about that, so with the National Homebrew comp stuff, if you get a gold, they publish like your recipe for that next year.
Okay.
So the blueberry muffin's going to be featured somewhere, which is kind of cool.
That's fun.
I don't think that it goes in that magazine or anything, though. So we'll see what happens with that. But interesting.
Okay.
Let's talk about bees and Mark Zuckerberg.
And Facebook, I guess.
I'll let you take this one.
Oh, you're going to let me take this one?
Yeah.
So the picture on this is really funny. And I love that his mouth is cut off in this preview. So essentially, Mark Zuckerberg wanted to build a giant nuclear-powered AI data center.
Who wouldn't?
Right. I mean, that was my plan for next weekend. Problem being, a very rare bee species was found on the property. And so since it's like a protected species, they can't build there. And so Zuck had to be like, sorry, guys, we got to amend our plans. And I don't think there was anything interesting about like their future plans.
Build somewhere else.
Right. But kind of the core of the story was that bees...
Yeah, that's
were
right.
able to shut
Get out
down
of there, Zuckerberg.
a billionaire, a very powerful billionaire, couldn't get past
if you ever need to
environmental protections. So that's interesting. You know, it kind of reminds me of that thing from years ago where those bees were getting into that M&M's plant and making blue and green honey. You know, it's a similar kind of like bees interacting with industry.
Can you imagine how much money they could have sold that honey
They
for?
should have. They should have jarred that and made it like a special release. M&M's honey.
Zuckerbees.
All
right, let's try this, and then let's partake in some powdered...
Some powdered fruit.
Yeah, so this is a guy on my Discord named Scrox.
Okay.
He was traveling through this week to see some family, traveled through Oklahoma City, reached out to me, said, hey, I got some stuff, I'd love to share it with you, dropped it off at the local homebrew store, and I picked it up, and this is a peppermint mead.
I can smell it on the nose.
This is right here.
Oh, okay. I could smell.
This is a peppermint mead. I guess
I like that none of these bottles have any information. So
well, that one has some on it.
It's a blue label with some chicken scratch on it.
Hey, man, they're trying.
It smells like peppermint.
This says Pep 24, so.
Pep 24. That sounds like a drug commercial.
You got that Pep 24.
Yeah. Have you experienced problems in the bedroom? Ask your doctor about Pep 24.
As the person who's made probably too much peppermint mead,
For the man of advanced age.
It smells fantastic.
It smells pretty good.
Ooh.
Woohoo!
That peppermint's very... I'm trying to think comparative. I haven't had a taste of mine in a hot minute.
Yeah, yours has more tannic bite to it. Yours has a little bit more tannin balance. This is, I wouldn't use the term watery. I would, you like to use the term juicy to describe that kind of. That's kind of, it's like if you had mixed like a nondescript fruit juice with some candy canes. Yeah, it's very smooth, very drinkable, but it doesn't come together as like a wine or mead for me. Yeah, but it's still a very pleasant drink, and I kind of am curious if you went like half and half. This with some hot cocoa. Oh, how that would turn out?
That could be killer.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty good. I agree. I think it's a little bit watery. I think that tea that I use in my base for tannin helps. I don't know if he ended up doing that too. But the peppermint's super interesting. I love this recipe because it's like it's a lot of work, but also there's a lot of payoff. At the end of it, you're like, I feel good about this. It does need a year to like really settle down. That's part of it too. It's like I haven't had one that's turned out in 3 or 4 months, and I've been like, yeah.
So did he use your most recent iteration on the peppermint mead recipe?
I have to pull up my Discord.
The one with like the peppermint tea and
I don't know. I can look at it here in a second. He sent me some other bottles, so I, if you're watching or listening, Scrux, I will go ahead and try those and let you know at some point. But this one's pretty good. I'm
There are a couple folks in chat saying that they felt like the video was a little laggy, so I switched to performance mode. I did notice that I went from 4 bars of Wi-Fi down to 3 too. Yeah. So
my Wi-Fi earlier was down to 0.5 megabytes download. I almost called my provider. It just like I pay for a gig download. I'm like, how can you take down 1,000th? No. Oh, it's interesting. Shall we
jump into this month in brewing?
Yeah,
you know what we should do though? We should show off these folks here, the members and patrons for my channel, and of course,
in a long time.
These folks here.
If you're missing from this, it's not that I don't care. I keep forgetting to send BC an updated one, and if you're not on there anymore, please resubscribe to continue to support the channel if you can. Thank you.
All right. I want to say hi to Adept Nonsense, Melissa, Corey, and I thought there was one more, but maybe that's everybody that's popped in since. Yeah, about 39 people viewing right now.
Let's go.
Okay. Oh, before we jump into the social media stuff, we should taste some of these powders.
Yes, we got those spoons right there.
Oh, I got the spoons, my friend.
You want to go watermelon or mango first? Oh yeah, who's shouting out first? Who?
Shout out to Stinger for jumping in on our we have 5 more, so our 6 out of 5. Mead Stampede low-level sponsorships that also get you into our Mead Stampede Holiday Hoedown. If you want to be part of the Holiday Hoedown, go to meadstampede.org/hoedown. That's HOEDOWN. And you can find out how to participate there. If you are one of the first 24 people that sign up, you get a gift.
BC's Bunker Brews.
You get a gift from us. And we're also selling raffle tickets for a ton of fun raffle tickets. All of the proceeds go to support Mead Stampede. So thank you to everyone who supported. Stinger tonight signed up for a sponsorship. So our promise was that we would try some of these powders. Maybe each of us should try one of them.
Okay.
Unless you just really want to try both.
No, are we nose goes for the watermelon? Because I feel like that's the more crazy one.
I mean, I can try one, you can try the other.
Okay.
Right? Which one are you hype about?
I'm going to let you decide. I've had this for a while. I'm going to let you pick which one you want to
But
try.
you haven't tasted either of them.
Yeah. But I'm going to let you decide.
Well, the watermelon stunk, so like my instinct is not to try it,
Okay.
but...
I'll go for the watermelon.
Okay. I'm going to try mango.
True watermelon.
Funpants says, did you say hi to Jage earlier? Hi, Jage. I'm pretty sure I did. This smells great. This
smells like the green of
This smells way better than that.
How much are you going for?
I don't know, like a half teaspoon?
There we go. That's fair.
Okay. You want to cheers?
Cheers.
I like that little explosion of powder there. Okay. This is going to be like the cinnamon.
Feels like this. Yeah, I was going to say.
Cinnamon challenge.
Go just start spitting it out.
Okay.
Mmm.
It really cakes up in your mouth.
That's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Mm-mm.
Not liking that?
It's stuck to the back of my teeth. Does yours taste like watermelon?
It does. But it tastes like a lot of the green of the watermelon, though. Like you get the rind.
This is never going to come off my teeth.
While BC recovers from his...
I might have to go floss. It tastes like mango. It tastes like fake mango, though.
You don't think they powdered 1,000 real mangoes into...
I mean, that's what the bag leads you to believe, but...
So this says 3 to 4 ounces per 5 gallons. So I made a 1 gallon batch. And I used, I guess it was like, I think I used an ounce. But what's crazy is 18 to 24 ounces per barrel, which the barrel is what? Do you remember how many
What was a barrel?
gallons? It's like
31? 31 gallons?
If that works, that's a pretty easy way to get some flavor, because that right there is like $20. If it tastes good.
You know, I wouldn't sit around eating it, but...
I don't know if that was the original intent when they decided.
Sure. But, yeah, that's fine. It doesn't taste bad. It's a textural thing. Like, it just turns to gum in your mouth.
Honestly, not bad. I'm very curious now to see what the result is.
Good times. Stephen K says, "Where am I and how did I get here?"
Hi. Do we need a silver alert? Is this?
Yeah. You know, maybe you should re-explain what the show is.
Yeah.
While we're at it.
This is for you, my friend. This is our show called Homebrew Guys. This is our podcast all about homebrewing. We're 2 homebrewers, and we aggregate a bunch of stories from across the internet and the world and bring them to you to talk about all the things happening in the homebrewing world. And we also like to go on tangents to talk about various things in our world and all the fun stuff that we go through as homebrewers. And we just hope that you'll hang around. And if you're not already doing it, try making some brews for yourself. Beer, mead, wine, cider. Give it a shot.
Homebrew.
You'll have some fun.
Okay. Let's look at some stuff aggregated from around the internet.
You like that word? Aggregate.
Aggregate? Yeah. Do you want to take this first one? Have you seen this one?
Snakes.
So, a little bit of inside baseball. Generally, I aggregate all of the stories for the podcast, and then Garrett sees them for the first time like 20 minutes before we start streaming.
I try to do like an hour or two. I've been, on a good week, I'll get an hour or two. I'll get deep. This one I had not seen, and I don't like snakes. But also, that he's getting yeeted around. There's a snake that is found in a bunch of grapes. And if you're watching him, I don't know if BC's pulled up the video.
Yeah, it should be up.
I was sure hoped that they would get that thing out of there before it got all chopped up.
They do. It takes forever. And I don't include the full video here. Sorry, I have the hiccups. But they eventually get the snake out. But that snake is really interested in falling down through that hopper and getting into the crush.
I don't know what they would do if that got... Oh.
What's particularly fascinating about this guy seems to have no idea what to do with a snake. But snakes and mice and rats and bugs and birds all end up in...
It's true.
In the wine grapes. Like, this shouldn't have been the first rodeo for Homie here. But...
I haven't... You're much more homesteader style than me. I'm definitely more wimpy, I'll be honest. If I ran across a snake, I think I'd have to really muster up some guts to pick it up or do whatever,
He's got gloves on. He's got a stick.
My only claim to fame is one time there was a possum that got in my parents' house. It got in and it got up in a cabinet and made a nest.
Grab it by the tail?
They opened one time and they were like, ah! And so they called me and I suited up, put on this big old glove and this thing, grabbed it by its tail, and I felt like a
Billy Badass.
Super, yeah. In reality, I was like, but those things were fierce seeming.
Oh, no, I don't love possums. I've been hissed at more times than I can count by possums, but I grew up.
It won't do anything though.
Deep in the country. No, they're more bark than they are bite. That's for sure.
Well, that snake made its way out, so fear not, you will not have any snake in your wine if you purchase from them. Shall we talk about some scams in Prague?
Yeah. Sorry. Steven says, I woke up from a nap with YouTube on autoplay to folks mainlining powdered fruit. So, Steven, if you've never homebrewed...
That's awesome.
This is your sign.
Hold on. What?
This is your sign.
That's incredible. Yeah, you have
Uncredible.
Uncredible. Can you imagine what's your algorithm? How did you end up here?
It's broken, I think, but I'm glad we were the beneficiaries of that.
You had to click on a homebrewing thing in order for that to happen. There's no way that we're just popping up without any prompting.
Yeah. All right, next up on the list, have you heard of the biggest beer scam in Prague?
It is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. this scam.
So I've been watching this guy and some of his other stuff. I thought it was interesting, and I've actually seen this video. And the scam that is
scam
that's happening.
Okay,
I'll let you talk about it more though.
So yeah, I'll sum it up, but the Cliff Notes version is this guy's like a travel blogger, right? And he was given some information that maybe this restaurant was not actually serving beer on tap. So in my head, when I first saw the headline, I was like, oh my God, they're like taking half-drank beers off the table and pouring them into a fresh glass and giving them to people, right? Like I was thinking this was like, because the video title is Unbelievable Scam, right?
Yeah.
And so I was thinking like, these people are drinking backwash and they're paying full price for it. It's much less sinister in that they are claiming they have beer on tap. They might be claiming a type of beer or a label of beer. But what they're doing is they're buying like a cheap lager in plastic bottles and pouring pints of that.
Yeah.
And so it's like a $1.50 beer that they're selling for $10.
Yeah.
And when I finally got to the end of the video and realized that the scam was just that people are overpaying for beer, it's like, have you never been to a baseball game? Have you never been to a bowling alley? Have you never been to Chili's? Yeah. Like everywhere you're going, you're paying way too much for a beer.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just American culture, but other than the fact that like you're being misled that this is a draft beer, I'm not surprised or disappointed at all because that's exactly what I would expect from a tourist trap restaurant.
Oh yeah, I mean a lot of this is like people are willing to pay it.
Right.
Like
if you want a beer and somebody says it's $10, you're gonna pay the $10 if you really want that beer.
Right. It is one of those things where you wish they'd be a little bit honest, but also if you're like those tourist places, they want to sell the experience, you know.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if they said, "Here's a plastic bottle of, whatever." Oh, we heard a notification.
That wasn't for me.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
I wasn't from.
I don't have any devices that make that noise. I think your dog might have eaten something.
Dude, I'm telling you, that was the alert box.
It couldn't be. I have the it's muted.
I don't know, man. I'm crazy. Anyways,
I did get a new subscriber.
Oh, there it is. Maybe that's what it was.
Maybe, but it shouldn't have made a noise.
Shout out to
Oscar.
Oscar.
Oh, I thought I was muted.
Oscar Williams.
Okay. Shout out.
Newest subscriber. If you subscribe right now, BC will say your name.
Apparently. So, do you feel offended by this beer scam?
No. I think that it makes sense, but also it does feel dishonest as somebody who, like, I totally understand both sides. Where someone would be mad if you found out, that beer I was buying was actually $1, and I just got upcharged. But then also, if as the seller, you know that you can do that because people are going to the tourist for the experience. They're going to just pay whatever they want so they can have the experience.
Right. When I'm at a restaurant, I'm not expecting wholesale prices on beer.
Right. It's like I see both sides of this argument.
Everybody in the chat is like, hey, you dummies. That was a subscriber alert. They don't understand. I have performance mode enabled, so we don't see what you guys are seeing.
We don't see anything at all.
It's just a black screen over here. All right. Next up, my friend.
I've never had some soju before.
Yeah? You've never had...
But it sure looks interesting.
Japanese alcohol infused with the bodies of the fallen?
Yeah, this guy's going hard on these hornets. So he took some Asian giant hornets.
Uh-huh.
The world's largest hornet.
Oh, he bangs them around like that.
He's trying to kill those suckers. How did he collect so many? Was he just with like a net just going around?
Maybe he goes out and gets the whole hornet football thing and
dude, yeah, and then he drops them in the booze and
presumably
gives a little Flavor Town.
Yeah, would you drink this?
You couldn't tell me that it was that.
No, if I told you that's what you were drinking, could you drink this?
No.
Really?
No.
You couldn't do it.
Okay, it depends on how much booze is there cuz in my brain I think how much booze is it to kill off whatever garbage is happening in this. If it's like a significant amount of alcohol, then sure. But if you're like, this is a 4%.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like rice wine or something, right? Or maybe it's. It says Japanese alcohol. Okay, what is it called? Shochu. I'm gonna Google it.
Tell us in the chat. Would you drink this? Interesting.
So my question to you is. Okay, I tell you what, you drink it, I tell you what it is. You're like, that was kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
Would you do another shot?
I think in this circumstance I would. I'm thinking back to Boots and Doots 2021.
Uh-huh. It's a distilled liquor from rice wine or like rice, barley, sweet potato. So it's a sugar.
It'd be interesting to try. Yes, I think I would go back because I feel like this would be interesting. Like back in the Boots and Doots era, had you not told me what that one egg thing was,
the balut,
there could have been a chance. But I knew too much going into it.
Yeah.
Therefore, I chickened out.
Okay. I don't know. I'd try it.
Yeah. No.
I guess my doubt is that there's any meaningful flavor contribution.
Well, yeah, they've got what's the skeleton of the insect? The
exoskeleton.
Yes, surely that keeps all the flavors in there.
I mean, it's probably semi-permeable.
I mean, are they? I don't know.
Osmosis.
To me, if you just poured that into a bucket, I don't know that it has much going on.
Wolf Dragon says absolutely not. If I knew hornets were in it, nope, is the specific quote. Corey asks if this would be any more painful than a habanero mead. I mean, presumably you're not getting stung, right? You're just drinking the... I mean, I guess they have venom or something.
Yeah, ooh, that's a component.
So maybe you get a little tingle.
Never taste again. I don't know. Something.
I don't know.
People do it all the time, apparently. So I don't know.
I don't know. All right. Second to last up.
This is right up your alley, by the way.
Yeah, for sure it is. I think this is cool. So this is it's a CT scan, right?
Yep.
Yeah, CT scan of natural cork. And so they put a cork into a CT scanner, and you can see the tree growth rings in the cork, which I think is super cool.
That's pretty cool.
And you can see like the little blobs of like blemishes that are in there and stuff. And you know, I've always been kind of like an elitist about cork stuff.
No.
I've never had problems with corks, you know. The other day, for the first time ever, I had like a real issue corking some bottles. And so I flipped the package over, and I see the word colmated on it. I've never heard this word before.
What does that mean?
Apparently, they take natural cork that has blemishes, and they use agglomeration to fill the blemishes in the cork. So it's like glue and cork particulate to fill the problems with the natural corks.
That seems very meticulous.
These things, my corker was just chewing them up, trying to put them in bottles. I was coming out with like 2/3 of a cork in the bottle, and 1/3 that was just like sheared off. I've never seen anything like it. I'm like, this can't be my corker. You know, it has to be these weird ass corks. And so I'm never buying colmated corks again.
So
and
you're going all synthetic now?
I've never bought them before. I did a little diving, and I know where they came from. I'm not going to name the vendor. But they were sent to me as like a, hey, check these out. So if you ever see that, personally, I would tell you avoid.
What's the word?
Colmated.
Colmated.
Yeah. It's apparently a natural cork that has been filled in because there are like divots and gaps.
Interesting.
And I mean, my corker was just destroying these things in a way that I've never experienced before. And it was like 2 days before that, I went on my Discord and I was like, oh, I've never had problems with corks. I can cork like crazy.
What's this?
2 days later, yeah, watch this putt. And then like the next, like 2 days later, I'm just wrecking corks. And they were the only corks I had.
Interesting.
So like I'd destroy one, I'd have to like pull it out and put it in another. It was a freaking mess. I would never pay for those corks. So now you know. But that natural cork looks really cool under the CT scan. It does. You can see the tree growth, which I think is interesting. I think we forget a lot of times that some of these more traditional ancestral type practices, like using cork from a tree, actually means that this thing grew on a tree, right? Corks don't grow on trees. Well, actually, they do. So, pretty cool.
All right, well, you got one more on our...
Yeah, this one is ridiculous.
This month in brewing. This was very at home to honestly. You. As someone who is one of the main face of Craft to Brew, you had some recent, really large exposure on the interwebs.
Something like that. Yeah, we had a video that went a little bit viral.
Tell us about it, BC.
Are you familiar with pumpkin gin?
Yes, I have after
watching my video about it. Yeah, so the first time I saw pumpkin gin, I actually went back through my Reddit history to find it was 12 years ago. Somebody had posted on Reddit on the homebrewing sub about pumpkin gin. It's this old like Depression era recipe. I think it was popularized in the 30s, but really came about in like the 1910s, where you hollow out a pumpkin, you fill it with sugar, and you let it ferment itself, and you get like a pumpkin wine on the other end. They called it pumpkin gin. And I have this theory that modern day pumpkins have been selectively bred to be like more porous and more hollow.
Oh, yeah.
And so they don't withstand fermentation as well as the gourds of yore, right? Because this thing after a week was just spitting liquid out of like every little crack in the pumpkin. And eventually it grew mold, and so I had to double back. I ended up sealing a sugar pumpkin in a vacuum bag, and that fermented like 20%. but still didn't ferment all the way. It turned out very sugary. And so like, I think in 2024, this just does not work anymore.
Yeah.
But it was
Did you taste the one that worked?
Yeah, just the one that works. I think that video's out on the Craft Brew channels now. But anyway, I've been hearing a lot about this video, so I thought it would be fun to include it in here, but it's absolutely absurd. Others have tried this. Others from our Discord community have tried this. It seems to never work.
Seems like the watermelon thing, where everybody a while back was like, you just blend up a watermelon and throw in some sugar.
You tried my wine fermented inside of a watermelon.
It was not good.
It
did not work.
Pretty darn bad.
I can attest.
So, pumpkin gin, I think we can safely say don't do it. It doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
But I made a pumpkin wine where I roasted the pumpkin and put that in and just like did it as like a country fruit wine. Turned out phenomenal. A little bit of spices in there.
Interesting.
It tastes just like pumpkin pie, like a dry-ish pumpkin pie. Super good. I think I'm gonna pour a bunch of bottles into like a Dutch oven.
Oh yeah.
And serve it like cider. So
I have my first mead. I want to do like mulled. It was it's a spiced mead, and it's not very good right now. But I think the other day I was trying it, and I was like, I bet this would be really good as a mulled mead because of all the spices and stuff. So I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
I tried to mull my apple cinnamon one time at the lower ABV. It did not work. So
yeah.
I think there's
too thin, or
yeah, I think that was part of it. Something weird.
Okay.
So, anyways, interesting.
It's the holidays. What are y'all drinking for the holidays?
Seriously. Anyone got anything fun brewing in the comment section? We still got 36 people.
Hi, everyone. Just a reminder, thank you to all these folks who support the Doing the Most channel. And these folks who support Garrett's channel.
Next
Man-Made
month
Mead.
or next time, it'll be updated, I hope.
Good times.
That's all the news stories we have.
Yeah. Anything else happening in the world these days?
Oh, there's a lot happening in the world. You know, I think, and BC can see it right now, I think oaking is really interesting. We've talked a lot about, him and I have talked separately about oak stuff. We talked about these oak dominoes.
Yeah. Oak dominoes.
Which are, I think people are just trying to find new ways to oak things and sell them. It literally is a
new
domino.
ways to sell oak.
It's literally a oak in the
They
shape
could have
of a
gone
domino.
the full bore and actually like burn the numbers into the dominoes.
The that oak barrel thing, bad motivator barrel, is what I've been.
Yeah.
I got a video coming out with that. It's super interesting, but it's just interesting to see all the new innovations on mead making or wine making or whatever, because people just want to continue to find new ways to do stuff. So there's some really cool stuff happening. I can't say with all the experience on the dominoes, but
we'll find out. Do they fit in a carboy neck?
That's an important question.
I mean, I guess the more important question is, can you get them back out of a carboy neck?
Yeah. I don't think these would fit in a carboy neck. So this is
Be a tight fit.
Oh, it'd be close.
But once they swell up.
Yeah. I wouldn't try it.
Man, that'd be a shame if you had to do that in a bucket.
I love breathable corks. I will never...
Yeah, silicone.
At all costs using real...
Good times. Let's see. Sean says, I have a Bananas Foster Bochet fermenting. Brian has a spiced Schwarzbier with some Christmas spices for kicks. Jage has a Bochet Acerglyn. Love a Bochet Acerglyn. Oh, from his own family's maple syrup. That's awesome.
Oh, that's fun.
Stinger says, I'm currently racking and back sweetening the Man-Made Mead, apple cinnamon mead.
Let's go.
Corey McHenry says, mulled cherry is great. I can see how that works. A little bit of tartness, a little bit of
I got a
warm spice.
That could be pretty good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Good times.
I really want to do more with mulled mead.
Yeah? Like
but I have a
mulling it after fermentation, like during serving?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how much I don't know. I think you have to change your mentality on a recipe whenever you know you're going to mull it, though. From one experience,
I think so.
You have to really design it to be a mulled mead. You can't just mull any mead.
You know, Chaucer's sells their meads with mulling spices.
Oh yeah, they're.
You think they prepare for that? Plan in advance?
They assumedly had. maybe tried once.
Assumedly.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Electric eccentrics. I need to get better glasses. Says I'm brewing doing the most seltzer. Well, that's not even brewing. That's just mixing some stuff up.
I mean,
Love that.
So is mead, though.
I've done some hard seltzers lately.
Yeah.
For work, for craft to brew. I did a pomelo hard seltzer, which turned out really nice. It's like a tart, citrusy, dry hard seltzer. And then I did one with haichu candies. Very much a man-made mead inspired project. It's only halfway done bottle conditioning, but it tastes just like the candies.
Interesting.
It's weird. Like that flavor didn't transform during fermentation. It stayed the same.
I have had some of those candy ones that are like, some of them sit up here.
Yeah.
Swedish Fish is still up there. I got to try that again at some point.
Swedish Fish.
Lingonberry.
That was this the thing I should be trying?
No, that's Swedish Fish. That's the peach. You want something else?
Oh, no. I think we're about to wrap up here.
Yeah, you got a family that's close up here.
I gotta go get my family there. They're decorating a Christmas tree with the grandparents tonight.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So we won't be back in December, obviously. We hope that everybody is with their family and friends or whomever they hang out with in the holiday season. It'll be January when you'll see us again. We'll, of course, have a bunch of news stories for you. But most importantly, I think we want to continue to point you to our mead competition. I think that's a big one for us because as you are hoping to send things off, it's better to start early than later. So go ahead and start brewing with the intent to hopefully send off to Mead Stampede 2024.
Especially if you're doing the cattle battle.
Yes. I would love to see, and I think it's an ambitious goal, I would love to see Mead Stampede get up to, I think we had 270 last year entries. Do you remember? 27.
Oh, no, it was more... Maybe entries were over in the 400s, weren't they?
I don't think for Mead Stampede.
I don't remember.
I think we got 270 this year.
Rob would let us know, but Rob's not
somewhere
here tonight.
We would love to see that continue to grow in whatever way that is. We are very beginner friendly. We're also expert friendly in that you're going to get good feedback. And we hope that you are willing to send for that. We have amazing prizes and stuff as well. So consider sending off to that when that opens up. And then, of course, if you're not already brewing something, go ahead and start something new. It doesn't have to be a large batch. It could be a half gallon. It could be a quarter gallon. It's super small, but do something to continue to develop your palate, develop your skills, because that's how you're going to get better. There's only one way to understand fermentation more, and that's to do it. You can read about it. You can watch our videos all day. But until you do it and see the side effects of whatever you do, you're not going to understand it fully. So,
I agree, 100%.
That's my TED Talk.
I'm going to CiderCon
again
in February. It's in Chicago this year, so got registered for that. Got the hotel room. So I'll be reporting from CiderCon in February. Probably by the time we do the next podcast, I'll either be preparing to go, or we'll have returned. So it's the first week of February.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, I'll be curious to hear the
good times.
All right, well. We appreciate you. It's been, I think, a shorter episode than normal. That's okay because
hour 20.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Yeah, it's about typical. We had a lot of news tonight.
That's true.
If you have news stories or social media stuff that you think we should feature on the next show, on his Discord server, the Man Made Me Discord server, there's a Homebrew Guys channel. You can submit those. A couple of the stories tonight were from that channel.
Yep. And we try to find stuff, but obviously the internet's a big place, and you might discover something that's interesting or an Instagram video or something that pops up in your feed. We'd love to see those. Obviously, we love to feature all the silly stuff as well. So even if you're like, it's not a serious topic, like we like to bring those to light as well because it's fun to have lighthearted things and not just the heavy stuff. Like we had some heavy stuff tonight. We had some lighthearted stuff. So it's good to balance.
A nice healthy mix.
Yeah. Balance the scale.
Excuse me. Corey says, is CiderCon that thing that isn't about brewing? A little bit. CiderCon is the American Cider Association's annual conference. It is largely geared toward cider houses, not homebrewers. But this year, instead of focusing on the vendor room, I'm going to go to some of the workshops. So I'm going to go to one, I'm going to one on keeving, which is the process of re-racking your cider multiple times, so you're basically like kneecapping your yeast so it ends sweet.
Interesting.
And so like you'll ferment it. After a week, you'll rack it off. After another couple of days, you'll rack it off, and you keep doing that. And so you're reducing the yeast population. So I'm curious about that. And then I'm going to a bottle share, and there's one more. It might be, I think it's about tannin. I think I'm going to one about tannin in cider. So hopefully I will learn something during these workshops that I can bring back. But
that'll be fun to hear about. Interesting.
Yeah.
You do a video on it or something?
I will definitely do a video. That's the exchange. They give me a free ticket, and I cover the event. And so I'm also looking forward. Actually, I was emailing with the CEO of one of the companies that I met there last time. Mm-hmm. Just the other day, he emailed me a couple of questions out of the blue. And so I'm also looking forward to meeting all these people that I met in Portland when we couldn't really hang out because there was a blizzard.
Yeah.
And so now, like, hopefully that networking that I did last February will turn into something this February where we can actually hang out connections and for us. Meet each other. Yeah. Good times.
Well, it's fun. Well, we've got a lot happening in the next little bit. If you'd like to continue to be part of our communication, part of our conversation, our Discords are a great way to converse with us, especially with me. I don't really check much social media at this point, and so the Discord's my best way. You can tag me on there, and normally I respond and find it pretty quick. BC is pretty active on his. You don't necessarily have to tag him, but I'm sure if it's very important, you can tag him.
Tagging helps. Yeah. But yeah, generally I'll see something.
But join our Discords, come talk to us, and we hope to see you next time.
Yeah. Happy holidays for those who celebrate. Mm-hmm. And Happy New Year. We're a month away from 2025.
2025. It's crazy.
It's really crazy. Things have changed a lot in the last year, especially for you.
A little more busy. All right.
A little bit more busy. Until next time, happy homebrewing.
Cheers.
And cheers.